All right, so today we're diving deep into some unconventional wisdom, some fascinating advice on prosperity and taking control of your life. And
Yeah.
it's not the usual self-help stuff. This is like next level thinking based on a speech given in Brazil.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and the energy in the room was incredible. People were totally captivated.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and we're going to distill all that for you. The actionable stuff, the mindset shifts, all of that.
Sounds good.
One of the first things that struck me was this concept of
12 areas of life.
the 12 areas of life, yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about, making more money or climbing the corporate ladder. It was about thriving in every dimension.
It's a more holistic approach.
Exactly.
Yeah, like spiritual, emotional,
With
physical.
relationships, even societal impact. It's really fascinating.
It is. It's really about understanding that all these areas are interconnected. If one's off, it can throw everything else out of whack. The speaker uses this analogy of helicopter's dashboard. Every gauge, every indicator is important, and it's the same with our lives. We need to be aware of our emotional state, our energy levels, our relationships.
Like if you ignore one, you could end up crashing.
Exactly.
Wow, okay, I'm starting to get this.
And this leads us to another key principle, mastering recruitment. And this goes beyond typical networking advice. It's about who you surround yourself with, very strategically.
So it's not just about having tons of friends or connections. It's about choosing the right people for your inner circle, your team.
Exactly. It's about shared principles, shared values, a common purpose, not just like convenience or because you need someone to lean on.
You need that emotional support,
Yeah.
but that's not the basis for these relationships.
Right, exactly. They even shared a story about choosing a business partner. It emphasized how important it is to find someone with complementary skills, but more importantly, a shared vision and a growth mindset.
Makes sense. I mean, we've all had those relationships that drain our energy. It makes you really question who you're letting in.
Totally. And that actually brings us to the next powerful idea, confrontation.
Confrontation.
Yeah, but before you think like picking fights or anything,
Yeah.
it's not about that. It's about confronting your own limiting beliefs
Okay.
and that need we all have for validation from, well, the wrong people sometimes.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because we often seek approval from those who represent our past instead of focusing on those who believe in our future potential. It's almost like we're trapped.
Right. Like seeking validation from the very people who might be holding us back.
Exactly. The speaker even said, reputation is defined by what others think of you, not by who you truly are.
Oh, wow.
And that's a trap.
It is.
Yeah, breaking free from that is essential. It's about stepping into your true, authentic self.
It takes courage, though, right? To define yourself on your own terms, not based on what other people think.
It really does. There's actually an anecdote about the speaker facing criticism for even attending the event where this advice was given. Yeah, and it shows how those who judge you today might be the ones praising your successes tomorrow. Trust your journey.
That's a powerful reminder. And it reminds me of another point that really resonated. Continuous training.
Ah, yeah.
It's not just about formal education.
No,
It's about constantly pushing ourselves to grow, learn new things, develop new skills.
It is. And get this, the advice was to replace 5 negative habits with 5 positive ones before the end of the year. Simple, but imagine the impact.
Right. It's like identifying what's holding you back and swapping it out for something that actually moves you forward.
Yeah, like a personal growth hack.
Totally.
And you know what? They even shared their personal approach, which was to find what they called a new healthy addiction every year.
Interesting.
Yeah, keeps things fresh, keeps them challenged.
Like if you're not learning, you're not living. Right.
Exactly. Which leads us perfectly to the next powerful concept, shifting from being a dreamer to being an executor.
Okay. I think a lot of people struggle with this, right?
They do.
We all have these big dreams,
Yeah.
but then we get stuck in the planning phase.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the ideation. But the key is to shift the focus from that distant goal to immediate results. Start taking action.
So instead of getting overwhelmed by the big picture,
Exactly.
you break it down into smaller, achievable steps.
They even compared it to a video game.
Oh, I like this already.
You don't start at the final boss battle, right?
Right.
You work your way up, level by level, gaining experience, unlocking new possibilities.
That's a great analogy. It makes it feel less daunting, more like an adventure.
Exactly. And that brings us to one of the most thought-provoking ideas. It's about how we understand poverty and prosperity.
Okay, I'm ready for this one.
The idea is poverty isn't just about a lack of money. It's a mindset. It's a mindset of resistance to growth and abundance, like feeling stuck, believing there are no opportunities.
So it's an internal state, not just an external circumstance.
Exactly. You could have plenty of money and still have a poverty mindset.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
And the speaker actually said this: prosperity is our natural state, and poverty is the anomaly.
It's a radical shift, isn't it?
It is empowering.
Yeah, because it means abundance is something we can cultivate, not just chase.
Exactly. And that ties into the importance of resilience. Setbacks are going to happen, but it's about developing that grit, the ability to bounce back and learn.
So it's about focusing on what you can control.
Yeah.
Your actions, your reaction.
Exactly. Not dwelling on the things you can't change.
Right.
The speaker even shared some stories about overcoming political setbacks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and pushing physical limits. It was inspiring to see how they never gave up.
It's a good reminder that we are capable of so much more than we think.
Absolutely. And to accelerate our growth, build that resilience, we need to invest in our network and find mentors.
Finding the right mentors can be transformative.
Yeah.
But how do we even find them?
They recommended joining mentorship programs, going to events where like-minded people gather.
So be proactive.
Exactly. Seek out guidance from those who've achieved what you aspire to.
Be intentional about who you surround yourself with.
Yes. And what's amazing is the speaker themselves still seeks out mentors.
Even at that level.
It shows that learning never stops, no matter how successful you are.
That's a great point. And speaking of learning,
Yeah.
there was one more key takeaway that really resonated with me, and it's about understanding that even though we're learning from others, we don't need their validation.
Right. It's like you can learn from someone's experience without needing their approval for everything you do.
It's about finding that balance, taking what resonates and leaving the rest behind.
Exactly. And it ties back to confronting those voices inside us, the ones that tell us we need permission to succeed.
Oh, those voices can be so loud sometimes.
They really can be. But it's about recognizing that our worth doesn't depend on what others think.
It's about finding that inner validation, that confidence that comes from within.
Yes. And the speaker had this powerful visualization. Imagine you're surrounded by people who represent your past, the ones holding you back with their doubts.
Okay, I can see that.
And then imagine replacing them with people who believe in your potential, the ones who see the best in you.
It's like a mental shift, surrounding yourself with positive energy.
Exactly. It's about creating a support system that empowers you. And that empowerment is key for the next step, moving from dreaming to doing.
Okay, yeah, that's where the rubber meets the road.
It is. It's about bridging that gap between ideas and action.
So many people get stuck there.
They do. But the speaker gave some practical advice. Stop fixating on the distant goal, the big picture.
It can be overwhelming.
It can. So instead, focus on those immediate results. What can you do right now?
Break it down into smaller steps.
Exactly. Make it manageable. It's like that video game analogy again.
Oh, I love that analogy.
You don't start by fighting the final boss.
No way.
You got to work your way up, gain experience, level up.
Makes it feel more exciting, less overwhelming.
That's the point. And that adventurous spirit is what we need to reframe our ideas of poverty and prosperity.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a few times. I'm really curious about this.
It's about challenging the idea that poverty is just about money. It's deeper than that.
So someone could be wealthy but still have a poverty mindset.
Absolutely. It's a scarcity mindset, feeling limited, believing there's not enough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And on the flip side, you could have limited resources, but a mindset of abundance.
It's about how you see the world.
Exactly. The speaker said, prosperity is our natural state and poverty is the anomaly.
That's powerful.
It is. It's about realizing we have the potential for abundance. And that's where resilience comes in.
Being able to overcome setbacks.
Yes, because they're going to happen. It's about bouncing back, learning from them.
Focusing on what you can control.
Exactly. The speaker shared stories of overcoming political setbacks.
Wow.
Pushing through physical limits. It's about that inner strength, that determination.
We can do more than we think we can.
We absolutely can. And to build that resilience, we need to choose our circle wisely.
Surround yourself with the right people.
Exactly, because they influence us, whether we realize it or not.
So it's not just about mentorship, but about the whole network.
It's about building a support system that lifts you up, encourages you to grow.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. And that ties into the idea of continuous training, right?
Yes. Always be learning, always growing.
It's not just about formal education.
No, it's about pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. They even talked about finding a new healthy addiction every year, something that challenges them.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, keeps things exciting.
Keeps you engaged, keeps you learning.
Exactly. And it brings us back to that dreamer to executor shift.
Making those dreams a reality.
Yes. It's about bridging the gap between possibilities and results. And remember, it's not about perfection.
Okay, that's good to hear.
It's about progress. Take those small steps, celebrate the wins, and learn from the setbacks.
Embrace the journey.
Exactly. And one of the most important things to learn is how to reframe failure.
Not see it as a bad thing.
Right. See it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to course correct.
Like it's feedback, not a final judgment.
Yes. It's about taking ownership of your life, becoming the architect of your own destiny.
Not being passive, but taking charge.
Exactly. And that brings us full circle to mastering recruitment. Choosing who has influence in your life.
Making sure there are people who support your growth.
Yes. Building a network that empowers you to thrive. And that leads to another key takeaway that really resonated with me.
So it's about paying attention to those internal signals, those indicators, like you were saying with the helicopter analogy.
Yes, like a pilot monitoring their instruments.
Right, so we need to be aware of our energy levels, our emotional state, our relationships. Those are our indicators.
It's about self-awareness, being in tune with what we need to function at our best.
It's like having an internal checkup, making sure everything's in balance. And that leads to that practical advice of replacing bad habits with good ones.
Absolutely. Remember the 5 vices, 5 positive habits. It's about making conscious choices about how we spend our time and energy.
Yeah, instead of letting those negative habits control us, we take control of them.
Exactly. We become architects of our own habits. And that connects to the whole dreamer versus executor thing, turning those positive habits into action.
Right, because it's not enough to just think about it. We have to actually do it.
And the speaker gave this great reminder. Don't aim for perfection right away.
Oh, that's a relief.
It is. It's about progress, not perfection. Take those small steps. Celebrate the wins. Learn from the setbacks.
Embrace the journey.
Exactly. And one of the most powerful things I took away from this was the idea that prosperity is more than just money.
It's a mindset.
It is. It's about abundance in every area of life, a belief in our worthiness, our ability to create a fulfilling life.
Not just chasing external things, but finding that inner sense of fulfillment.
Exactly. And they said something that really shifted my perspective. Prosperity is our natural state, and poverty is the anomaly.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
It is, but it's empowering. It means we have the potential for abundance. It's within us.
It's about shedding those limiting beliefs that hold us back. And that ties into resilience, doesn't it?
It does, because resilience is what allows us to overcome challenges and bounce back from those setbacks.
It's not about avoiding challenges altogether. It's about facing them head on.
Exactly. And they shared some amazing stories of people who've done just that. People who've faced incredible adversity and came out stronger.
It's inspiring. It shows that we have more strength than we realize.
We do. And to help us build that resilience, they emphasize the importance of mentorship.
Finding those guides, those people who've been where we want to go.
Yes, because they can offer wisdom, support, and valuable insights that we might not have on our own.
It's like having a roadmap, someone to help us navigate the journey.
And what's amazing is this person who's sharing all this wisdom, they're still seeking out mentors themselves.
And they're always learning, always growing.
Exactly. It shows that there's always more to learn no matter how successful you become.
Yeah, that's a great point. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
we've
explored some powerful ideas about governing our lives, taking control, and creating a life of true prosperity.
It's been a journey, hasn't it? From mindset shifts to practical strategies and inspiring stories of resilience.
It's a reminder that we have the power to shape our own destinies.
We do. And as we close, I'll leave you with a question from the source material. Are you ready to step into your own power and become the architect of your future?
It's a choice we all have to make, and the journey awaits.